I didn't know how to get off that bench. I didn't know how to get off that Coke. I didn't know how to stop grabbing onto that bottle. But I knew who. I had always remembered who. And the who is more important than the how. That's for sure. My story is, I had came to Teen Challenge in 2009. I went to Long Island Teen Challenge. And that's where I met the program director who was serving in this house before I came here, at God's Mountain in Reedsburg, Pennsylvania. And so after relapsing a couple of times, I found myself in Albany Teen Challenge and then now Capitol Heights Teen Challenge, in which I came for a restoration. I was addicted to cocaine and alcohol for as long as I can remember. And I came to this house to get off of cocaine. It's 150 degrees in New York. I'm in Pelham Bay Park in the Bronx. I'm on a bench right next to the basketball courts, and I'm on this bench because my mother had made up the decision that, hey, if you want to kill yourself, that's fine. You ain't gonna do it under my roof. So she's done with me. You need to get out now. So I get out and have to spend a couple nights on this bench, and that was rough. I remember being on the bench, staring into the abyss, wondering how did I get here again? Why am I here? And how do I get out of here? And that's when I started to get these texts from Teen Challenge saying, bro, there's a hope. You know who the hope is. You've forgotten along the way. You need to come back and remember how good God is and what he's capable of doing for your life. And I was reluctant. Up until the point where I said I would never come back. And you know, that was a lie straight from the enemy. Never say never, you'll end up in Never Never Land for sure. And so, for me, that was the worst of the worst. And it gets to the point where I knew there was more, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to get off that bench. I didn't know how to get off that Coke. I didn't know how to stop grabbing onto that bottle. But I knew who. I had always remembered who. And the who is more important than the how. That's for sure. I came to this house to get off of cocaine. I wanted to do my 3-month restoration and go back to the Bronx. That was my plan. God had other things in mind. And so after about 4 months of my restoration piece, the program director here resigns and says, hey, you got 15 years experience. You can't get enough of this place. You should step up. I see ministry for you. God has a call on your life, and it's time for you to step up. And so now I humbly serve as the program director of Capitol Heights Teen Challenge. And it's a blessing and an honor to be here for sure. I've seen what God can do with an alcoholic cokehead on a bench, making him a program director of a drug program. And trusting me to do so is, if that's not a miracle, sign, or wonder in itself, I don't know what is. Then I come here and I see the men in this house being totally transformed through the power of Jesus Christ. Heroin addicts no longer shooting up, people suicidal, depression, living their best life on top of a mountain, and only God can do these things. Now, since David Wilkerson started this program, there has been a phenomenon in where you don't see what you're supposed to see, right? So what I mean is, we got guys, just a couple months ago, we had a guy come in, did dope his whole life. And me and a staff member are talking, this guy walks right by us, telling another student, he says, you know something? I haven't withdrawn since I've been here. I'm supposed to be going through withdrawals. And we knew right then and there, we looked at each other and said, the Holy Ghost is still working. It's happened with David Wilkerson when he opened Teen Challenge in Brooklyn. It's happening here. The same God he was yesterday is the same God he is today. And men are being freed, and men are not going through what they're supposed to be going through, the pain and hurt. When God's done with you, putting you through the fire, when you come out, you don't smell like smoke. You don't look like what you've been through by the time Jesus is done with you. I should be toothless, hairless. I should be dead. That's where I should be, and I'm not. And it's because of the power of Jesus Christ. And I would say that is for more than just me. There's a lot of men in this house that don't make sense. You see, God gives you a second chance, he gives you a third chance, a fourth chance, and then he does the outrageous. He does something that makes zero sense. Why does he do it? To say only I could do it. And he's gonna get the glory in my story, that's for sure. There is no program, there is no medicine, there is no doctor alive that could have done what Jesus has done for me and those in this house. And I stand on that 100%.